there guys, we're here once again. My name is Andrew Chidimo, founder of Team Power, and today on the show we have a very special guest. Someone who is not only an alumni of Kapsabet Boys High School, but is also an alumni of Education UC, which is sort of similar to Cancer, but then was being sponsored by the US Embassy until this year when unfortunately they chose to discontinue it. Moreover, he is currently a student at the Yale University, class of 2027, but more importantly, is a fellow Smocha lover. Join me in welcoming the one and only Victor Mutinda.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here, reuniting with my friend Chidimo. And
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Victor is someone really busy. In fact, I think it's the first time back in the country ever since you left.
yeah, it is.
And he's here for a couple of days. He'll be going back to the US end of March. And so thank you so much for creating time out of your really busy schedule. So Mutinda, most of us are usually clueless about how the whole application process works. So maybe you can tell us how it was from when you finished your KCSE and got your results to when you actually got into the university.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So when I graduated from Kapsabet, I was really interested in studying abroad. Which at that time I didn't know how complex the application process was, because the only thing that students who graduate and get accepted to the schools, the only thing they tell us is that we should just study, get good grades, and then apply. So that's all the information I had before applying and everything. So after I graduated, I was chilling at home, just like you're doing right now. So yeah, and then I got accepted into the Equity Leadership Program, which offers internship to students. Graduating students, and I worked at Equity Bank until I joined Education USA. So that's when I realized how complex the process is actually. So just to sum it down, it's basically on top of the grades that you get in high school. That's grades from your first year to your fourth year, and including the KCSE results. You will need to write essays, a lot of essays. Because I remember when I was applying to Yale, I think Yale had 8 essays. They required just 8 essays. But by the time I was submitting my application, I'm pretty sure I wrote over 200 essays. Most of them were similar, others were different topics or something like that. But yeah, that kind of tells you how many essays or how much work you need to spend. You need to do on your essays. And also some schools, when I was applying, most of the schools were test optional, so I didn't really worry much about the SAT. But right now, I'd advise any student who's planning to apply to schools abroad, especially in North America, to consider taking the SATs, because most schools are reverting back to requiring SATs for the application process. So that's another aspect of the application to work on top of the essays. And then you need recommendations from your teachers. I think the minimum is 3 recommendations: 1 from your counselor, 2 from your academic teachers. So yeah, and what else did you do? A list of extracurricular activities that you did in high school, and it can include activities that you've done post high school. For example, there's an amazing program that you're running for other high schoolers who are into the same, who have the same passion to expand their knowledge in different places abroad. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Onto ACT practice, because it's something you've really emphasized on and how important it is, especially during our time and your time. And so, how long did it take you to read for the ACT, and how tough would you say it is?
Okay, I'd like to say things may be different this year compared to how they were last year, considering most schools are zero test optional, but this year many schools are reverting back to the SAT requirement. So definitely you need to get your work done in SATs in terms of practicing SAT and getting ready. And I remember the main resource we use is Khan Academy. So Khan Academy offers sample practice tests. So you get do tests, you get they also offer tutorial videos. So if you want to learn something that you maybe did and failed, so you can learn there. They teach you, for example, the math we do in the SAT. It's somewhat similar to the math we do in high school, but they try to like the way they word it. It's like they try to like make it feel like it's more complicated or some way. Like yeah, you know how taste makers are. So yeah, you definitely need to put in the practice hours because it helps. Like SAT is not like a regular exam. It's more about they test you on your time management, your efficiency, and how smart you are. Like all these things count. So if you do many practice tests, because it's usually timed. I'm not sure. Last year it went digital, so I'm not sure how long the SAT is right now, but it's usually under 3 hours. So you can imagine there's a math section and an English section. The English section it's comprised of like passages and short answers, like choice. It's given like you have choices like answer passages. So I'd advise you if you reply to this was a bit less, definitely, and most importantly, put the SATs in mind. Like it's the most important part. Okay, no, it's not the most important, but it's essential for your application because like many schools require the SAT.
And how tough would you say it is?
Well, that's relative. No comment.
This interview has majorly focused on academics, which raises a question on co-curricular activities. What co-curricular activities did you participate in? And more importantly, does participating in a lot of co-curricular activities boost your application? Or does it even affect your application in the first place?
I really find this question interesting because, like I've told you a number of times, I participated in like a bunch of extracurricular activities. So one of them was debate, the other one was music festival. I did part in drama, but it was under the spoken word category. I also did journalism, pen club. But one thing I found interesting with the number of activities I did, it's not about like the number, but it's about the content, what you do, what's the tie-in theme between the activities you do. So for me, I'm like genuinely passionate about public speaking and advocacy. So every chance I got, I tried to like find a space where I could like use public speaking. So debate was like the best platform for that. I did music because of the public speaking category of competition. I also did spoken word because I love writing poetry, which is one of the reasons why I was in journalism club. That's how I ended up like, building myself and building more in myself as a poet. So I think that participating in many activities is not necessarily like, helpful. They say don't be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But I'd like to say like you can participate in like many activities, but they all have like one unifying thing. So maybe you're interested in community service. You don't just have to like be into, charities like, I don't know, Mata Harchan or something like that. Community service is like a wide array of things, involves a wide array of things. Like maybe, like I told you before, like if you're really good at maybe playing the piano, community service could involve you maybe studying a piano lesson as children in the community. People want to like how to use a piano, to play a different instrument or something like that. So you see, like, just try to find, don't limit yourself to like the number or the kind of activities you take part in just because you have a set number of activities to like participate in to like be the ideal candidate. Just take part in whatever you feel like is genuine to you, like whatever you're genuinely interested in, and definitely you will have a great time in high school. You definitely have a great time in high school, and also you will be a great candidate in the application. Last question, you asked whether they impact your application. They sort of do, they actually do, because in the application, the common application and the MIT application, you have a section where you need to like list. For the MIT, I think it's around 4 activities that you did in high school or post high school, and for other US colleges in the common app, you have to list at most 10 activities. So if you did like a number of activities, maybe it's contests, maybe it's music, drama, like you get like a chance to fill them in. And if you genuinely took part in these activities because you're genuinely interested in them, you're going to have a really good time trying to show a theme. Because admissions officers sort of know like students try to like participate in different activities just for the sake of applying to colleges. So whenever you have like random activities appearing with no kind of theme flowing between them, they will tell them, yeah, this is good. Like, there's no story here. But if, for example, you have like activities that show your passion for like
piano. So the first activity, maybe say you are a pianist, you like playing the piano. And then the second activity maybe is you started a piano, like an orchestra where you play the piano. And then maybe the other one is like you started a club where you teach people how to play the piano. Like it's just like they want to see how your passion is like related to all these activities. Also, it doesn't have to be like tied all together like this. You could be like maybe interested in different things, which is okay, which is normal. So yeah, just like try to be yourself. That's the main thing about the practice. Be yourself.
And you brought out the aspect of debate, which raises a question. Let's say I participated in debate or journalism, but then these are things I was really passionate for, but then I never got an award or certificate or anything to prove that I participated in them. Are these things still that I can still include in my application, or by virtue of lacking a certificate for it, I can't include it?
Not really. I mean, because you need awards like play. You do get a place in the common app to like list your awards, but you don't need an award for something like, for example, if I know like some people they usually told like do the job that you would do even if you're not being paid. So the same applies to the extracurricular activities. Even if you won't get an award, like just do it because you love doing it. And then you will get like sections in the essays like talk about activities that mean the most to you. So maybe you say you did debate, but you never won an award, but it means the world to you. Use this sport to talk about how debate means the world to you, even though you never won an award. You could get like maybe a teacher to talk about your prowess in debating, like in the recommendation, which also goes a long way to talk about your, how good you are a debater, like compared to an award, because this is another teacher talking to another teacher.
Essays. Now this is more of a nightmare to like most people, especially guys like me who used in high school we used to get like 10 and below in essay writing. And so that raises the question, does your high school essay performance affect how well you write essays for universities? And in addition to that, what tips can you give to people who want to apply? What can they include in their essays?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I told you before, you're going to have to like work a lot on your essays. Like the essays are a huge part of your application because you will write a lot of essays from maybe applying to the college. Sometimes maybe the financial aid, the application that you're making requires an essay. The scholarship award that you're looking for requires an essay. Maybe you need to like appeal for your funding. You will be writing a lot of essays generally. So, but there is a difference like compared to the essays that we wrote in high school. The essays we wrote in high school, you are trying to like, the teachers are trying to see that you read books, that you know what the books, what's in the books. Because I remember one of my English teachers, like, usually awarded more scores, more marks to students who would like, repeat, like, write the essays from because we did like set books. So if you wrote the essay word for word from what was in the set book, you get like higher scores. But that's not what these admissions officers are looking for. They want to know who you are. So the one thing different with these essays, the college application essays, is that they are more reflective. They want to see that you can think about what happened to you. So we have like two types of essays in the college application. We have the montage essay and the narrative. So what is common between these two essays is that at the end of the essay, we need to see like what are we learning about you at the end of the essay? So it needs to be reflective. Tell us like what's the essence of the story. So the main question is usually so what? Like if you tell us a story about your childhood, like how you learned how to like ride a bicycle, so what? What did I teach you? Like what qualities did that impact in you? That's what they want to know. Like they want to learn your personality, the qualities that you have, and you can only do this by practicing how you write the essays. Because I remember when I graduated, I felt like a bit cocky with my writing skills, but after my first draft and my first review from my mentor, I was really shattered because I was so like, that's not the ideal way people should write essays. So I had to like learn a new way. So I spent a lot of time on College Essay Guide, which is like a really, really useful and helpful resource online. It's free and you can learn a lot about essay writing from the website.
So there's this common notion that from Form 1 till Form 3, whenever you not take academics seriously, Then once you get to Form 4, you can get a bit serious. Does this impact your application in a way? And how would you recommend it?
Okay, like, yeah, that's a really good question for people who want to like put in the hours for the extracurricular activities, because it's like a requirement for your application. So, but I would say that you don't need to relax per se. You just need to like find a work balance, like academic life and social life balance. As someone who like took part, who was like really interested in like activities outside the classroom, I'd say it's like really, really, it helps build you as a person. Because like, for example, being part of the debate team in high school was like really transformative for myself. Because that's where I met like most of my mentors who were like really, really monumental in my journey towards the 90s schools abroad. So I'd say don't relax, just like find a way to balance your academic life and social life, considering that you do actually need in your application you will need to like state the activities that you did outside the classroom. And also you will need to like submit your transcript, your high school transcript from your first year to like your fourth year. So that's something you also need to put in mind. So if your grades are like, they're not as good, if your first year to third year grades are not as good as your fourth year grades, it raises pressure. It's like, yeah, even if you were hiring someone, and then all of a sudden you see like their first year to third year grades were not as good compared to your fourth year, you'd have more pressure. So yeah, I guess like just find the one balance.
Now that you've actually raised up the topic on KCSE, does it really matter in your application? That's a question most people usually. Take for instance, I didn't do well, but I still want to go abroad. Does it really matter?
Okay. This is going to be very individual specific because it depends on you as a scholar. Because if you were doing great in high school, like from first year, like your fourth year, and your transcript indicates like maybe you were an A student, an old A student, like all through, then if something happened maybe during KCSE, maybe you felt ill, maybe you had some mental health issues, like things happen. And KCSE is actually challenging because it's like a one-time thing, like it's a one-time exam. If you fail, like if you make a mistake, like that's it. They won't tell like maybe you were a great student or not. So there is in your application we do have a section on extenuating circumstances. So in case like something happens that challenges you into not performing the very best that you could have done in KCSE compared to how you have been performing, like from your first year to your fourth year, you could use that space to like explain to the admissions officers what happened. Like maybe it's a challenge that's happened to you at home. Maybe you lost a parent, you lost a family member. Like that's just your space, and also it should be like a space for you to like complain or lament or try to like make excuses for like your bad grades or something. It's just a place for you to like explain your extenuating circumstances.
So Mutinda, I'm an ex-high schooler and I want to join Yale, for example. I actually want to join Yale, but what should I be doing from now till maybe January next year? Could you give us what we should do and in what sequence?
Yeah, that's something like most high schoolers like master. So there's no like an exact like like a specific way everyone should like, or a specific format like people should do, or things that people should do before like joining college. It's personal specific. For example, say you are passionate. Okay, you're passionate about team power. So you're currently getting involved in like team power all through and everything. So I kind of like advise people to like figure out what they're actually interested in. So it doesn't have to be something big, but for example, we have post high school programs like equity leadership program. We have Education UC, which unfortunately is not running this year. We have Kenta, and other than these college consulting programs, you can also engage in things that you actually love doing. It can be something that you enjoy, like a passion project. Say you like playing the piano. You could like use your talent, skills, like teach kids in your community how to play the piano. Maybe you are interested in writing. You can just like start writing, maybe a writing club, like within your community, or maybe you can start a blog, like just do whatever it is that you're passionate about. And if you're considering applying to like universities abroad, like I told you, like it takes a lot of work to like submit an application. So it's also good to like start early, like get your documents ready, reach out to teachers that maybe you want them to like write your recommendations. If you're planning to take the SAT, of which most of you should start planning because many schools will actually require you to take the SAT. So start practicing for the SAT test and basically just do what you love doing because it counts a lot in your application. Like for example, if you're passionate about community service or you're engaged in team power. So in your application, you could mention that you got engaged in team power all through like your gap year. Because when you're applying this period of time after your graduation until you join college, that's college in the US, is considered like a gap year. So you could like use this activity that you did post high school to like share your passion. Like it's another way to show the admissions officers what you're passionate about. So there is actually an essay about what you did during your gap year. So if you have these passion projects, like passion activities that you like doing, you enjoy doing, do them as long as it's constructive. It's not illegal. So yeah, keep doing them because it will count. It's not about the application, but it's about building yourself as a person.
Mutinda, you've talked about transcripts in high school as well as your KCSE. Now I'm picturing the scenario where I did poorly in both, and so my high school grades weren't that good, and my KCSE grade also wasn't that good. Are there like alternative places or alternative classes I can take to cover up for that?
That's a really delicate topic, so I'm going to handle it with more sensitivity. First of all, what high school students need to understand is there are a lot of schools in the US which offer financial aid and scholarships to like international students. So this is up to this is up to you as scholars and as students and as aspiring applicants to institutions abroad to like do the research. Find a school that's like that matches your profile. Not every school is like looking for the perfect A student, the president, the school president, the debate chairman or something like that. So you just like try to find a school that matches your profile. Also, if you realize that you're not as good in class, try to show other aspects of yourself. Like, as a person, you're complex. You are not just a scholar. These universities are looking for more than just like a scholar. They are interested in you as a person. Like, what interests do you have? What passions do you have? What makes you different from the next student down the block? So if you are passionate about maybe singing, show them that you have pursued music and singing like to a whole other level. Do that with all your passion. Like that shows you have achievements, you have like potential in other areas besides the classroom. Also try to do community-oriented activities. It doesn't have to be, it has to be like from within you. Like don't just start doing like charities because running charities because it's about the application. Try to make it feel like it's part of you, like it's something that you're really genuinely interested in. Because what I know from what we were taught in Education USA is that these schools, they're complex. They're looking for you, they're looking for applicants as people, like your personality, what makes you different. Yeah, sure, people can score A's. Like how many A's did you have, for example, in high school, like this year?
8?
Yeah, that's a lot. Imagine all these people applied to the same school. Like these are all applicants with like perfect grades, perfect scores, but not everyone of those 80 people like did something, they didn't do the same things in high school. Like, probably one of them was the school captain, one of them was like in charge of like the orchestra, like one of them was like in the orchestra, like one of them was maybe in debate. Like you all have different and unique passions and interests outside the classroom. So try to like show that aspect of yourself. And in terms of like trying to improve your academic progress or like boosting your academic profile, you could take the SAT.
You've talked about many struggles and many for that matter, writing essays more than 200 times, ACTs and all that. And so that raises the question, was it worth it? And I guess as you're answering that, you can also leave us your last piece of advice to our viewers who are busy applying and studying for the ACT right now instead of scrolling through reels. But yeah, I guess you can finish with that.
Yeah, that's like the $1 million question. In one word, yes, it is absolutely worth it. I cannot explain this in terms that it's gonna make people like, because I'm not selling this like anything. Studying abroad, like it opens you to like new experiences that you wouldn't normally have like here, like back home. So maybe, and then you get like opportunities like hands-on experiences. Like for example, you might get a chance to study abroad over the summer. You might get a chance to do our summer internship. Like these are things that you can only access in institutions in the US or abroad. So I feel like it's definitely worth it. I cannot say it, I cannot explain it, because personally I feel like it's been an eye-opening experience for me and myself. And having gone to a school like Capsulet High School, you know, it's a national school, you went to Alliance International School. You know how transformative the experience can be to like meet new people from different cultures. Like it's definitely like it's a whole new experience that I will not give up for anything. Like yeah. And then for the advice, I guess, just be yourself. Like the college application process is going to be daunting. Even after the application, you're still going to have like a lot of, you know, challenges. Maybe it's the visa application process. Maybe it's like settling in school, picking classes, finding friends, making friends. You know, like it's hectic. It's just, and the only way you can survive through the whole process is just being yourself. Remind yourself what motivates you, like what's pushing you to apply to schools abroad in the first place, and yeah, just be yourself. Be genuine in your application. Write essays that actually show who you are. I guess the main thing is just be yourself. You should like put that as a hashtag. Be yourself.
Be yourself. You guys heard it from Mutinda. Thank you so much for coming. And on behalf of Team Bar, I'd like to present you this shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god.
I'm now a member of Team Power. Thank you. It was wonderful having you.
Thank you. It's been so great, so informative. Thank you once again, and safe journeys as you go back to the US and of March.
Yeah, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks.